Head Instructor.
About to intermediate and beginner level students at home, welcome everybody. Let's do a little bit of breathing, some embracing horse before we get started. As you breathe in, feel your abdomen go out. And as you breathe out, feel it come back in. Breathe in deeply. Breathe out slowly. Be relaxed. With each breath, begin to imagine that cascade of relaxation flowing down your body from the top of your head all the way down to the bottoms of your feet. Face and jaw relax. Neck and shoulders relax. Chest and upper back relax. Shoulders and arms feel heavy. Stomach and lower back, relax. Feel the flow of relaxation through your waist into your hips, through your thighs and backs of your legs. Allow your knees to soften. Feel your calf muscles relax. Your ankles relax. The bottoms of your feet relax. Breathe in deeply. Breathe out slowly. Be relaxed. Next time that you breathe out, go ahead, open your eyes, lower your hands, and transition to embracing horse. and release. Straighten the legs, lower the hands. Circle the arms up, inhale. Press the palms down, exhale. Okay, what I'd like to do today is jump straight into the moves we've been working on, and then towards the end of class, back up and try it from the beginning. So, we single whip and lift hands last class. We're going to do that a few times together. Start from push, do single whip, lift hands. Do it a few times, then I'll demonstrate and answer questions. And then we will possibly look at strike the shoulder, wide crane, spread wings. All right, so everybody will start from push over here. So our right foot will be forward. Left foot is going to be at a 45-degree angle or so. Right toes pointing straight ahead. Short walking lunge for push. And single whip. Shift back. Turn. Release. Single whip. Hands. Shift to the right. Left toes in. Lower the hands. Turn to the front, release the right heel, open the hands, close the hands, set the right foot down. Let's do that 3 more times. Single whip. Can't see me, follow people around you, they've done it many times. Lift hands, shift back, lower the hands, left toes in, shift to the left, open the hands, release the right heel, close the hands, set the right heel down. Release. 2 more. Single whip. Once more, reset. Again, single whip. Hold here. There you go, good. Good. This is excellent. If you can, shift into your front leg a little more and turn your hips square towards me. There you go, and then shift to the front foot. Good. And then relax this. That's okay, you're good. And then relax this elbow on your shoulder. Very good. There you go. Very good. Very good. Something to square your hips. And maybe press up 2 inches that way. Yes, because that gives you the room. Same thing here. Maybe 2 more inches that way with the foot so that you can square your hips and then turn those toes in just a little bit. Good. Okay, kind of lock in that feeling. And once it's locked in, release. For those I made adjustments to. If I didn't make adjustments, you're like, yeah, I'm there. I'm there. I got it. Okay. Oh, the trauma of my cat hair on my mask. I see it. I got it. Thank you, Tiggy. All right. I'm going to demonstrate those and then answer any questions that come up, and then we might kind of preview what comes next. So, front push. And, you know, if you hear me hitting again on the proper foot placement, this double dragon's foot placement, it's that roughly shoulder width apart, not too far forward, because if I'm too far forward, it's very hard to shift out of it. It's like you feel a little bit too stuck. So, and each person is going to be different. So you can kind of look around to see what it looks like with other people, but no 2 leg lengths are going to be exactly the same. So if someone's really taller than you, like I would not, with Mr. Watkins, I wouldn't match his stance because my legs are little pygmies compared to someone who's 6 feet tall. I'm very short in the leg department. But you're going to find that shoulder width, like you're about to push something. Like if you were about to push a car or a heavy bookcase, your body will naturally kind of know what to do for that. And that posture is prevalent through most of Tai Chi, so it's really important to find that. So if find me going, foot that way, shift this way, hip square, it's because it's so important for your Tai Chi. And so what that means is I'm mostly square with my hips. So if you find yourself kind of doing this, that's, you know, if you're, I know this is backwards for single whip, but you know, I'm too kind of tight ropey and my hips aren't able to square. And if I do this and my feet are too narrow, this starts to put pressure on my knees and it feels a little bit wobbly. So the groundwork are footwork, shoulder width apart, left toes or whichever, the back foot out at about a 45-degree angle, a short walking lunge, maybe shorter than you think, and that your hips can be mostly square with about 60% of the weight here, 40% of the weight here. So this one tends to get, not say left or misunderstood, but sometimes hips don't quite square up. So you do yourself a solid and check to see where your hip alignment is. So if you can check and start from this, whatever move you're doing, you're going to give yourself a good foundation to get to the next move. And then hopefully you'll end up similar arrangement even if it's the other foot forward. So for push, I'm going to do that. I'm going to check to make sure I'm in good double dragon's foot placement. Got my tuck, so I'm not leaning forward. Feel pretty upright and stable. For single whip, I'm going to shift, turn, shift, step, step back. And I'm stepping back for that same reason, so that when I turn here, my hips can be mostly square. A common thing is to step farther this way and turn here, and then I'm more on a tightrope and my hips face this way. So training your body to step a little bit more back so that you can get that alignment. Then lift hands. Remember, we're going to shift back, lower the hands, these toes turning a little bit. Shift, open the hands, release this heel, close the hands, set the right heel down. Any questions about those or anything that doesn't make sense? Or
I kind of had it answered, but the foot placement going into the single whip, I wasn't sure because I would get this fine, and then I was like, what do I do with this?
What do you do with that? Yes. Yeah. Yes. So good question. So her feet here, I'm going to shift back, and as I turn, this whole leg kind of comes with me, which sounds like you got that part. So then I keep turning, and then I'm going to shift back so I can get all the weight out of this foot and put it back on this foot. And by doing that, this heel can come up, and that's what gives me the ability to move it where I want to. Then I'm going to sink down, step in, and this is that step back that I was talking about just now to get to here. Okay. So in Tai Chi, it's all about where your foot placement, where your weight is. You can't, as you found out, you can't move if you're what we call double weighted. So your weight's either in one foot or the other foot. And if you're stuck, check where your weight is. Okay. So you were right. You're like, I can't move. Something's not right with my foot. Put the weight in this foot so that then you can step back. Okay. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Cool. Any other questions? Okay, let's practice it a few more times. And then, oh wait, I was going to preview what comes next. There we go. Yay! So, single whip. Lift hands. Now, in beginner class, we break these next two moves apart. When you get to intermediate advanced, they tend to kind of blur together. But the first move is strike with shoulder, which is going to be this. And then the next move is white crane spreads wings, which looks like this. So that's what's on deck. That's what's coming next. But let's practice these two moves a couple more times. Thank you. All right. Check your feet. See if you're in good. You're not tight ropey, that your hips are square. And single whip. Good. Lift hands. Yeah, one more time. And then this next time at the end, we will work our way through strike with shoulder. Single whip. Lift hands. From here, you're going to turn your waist and you're going to lower your hands. And then you're going to sink down and step in. Then you're going to step straight ahead with the heel. You're going to shift forward. This right hand is going to stay down. Left hand is going to protect up by your shoulder. And then strike with shoulder. Good. Reset. Single whip. Lift hands. And then for strike with shoulder, turn your waist, lower your hands. Sink down, step in. And then step forward with the right, shift forward, strike the shoulder, hold here. Switch your hands. This one's face down, and this one is here. And then turn the shoulder. So that physically you're trying to not get your face with whatever's in your foot. Yeah. Good, good, good. Release. So, let's talk a little bit about the fine details of strike with shoulder. So, strike with shoulder is shoulder strikes in general are extremely powerful. They're very difficult, as in sneaky, to fit into a sparring or a practical scenario. But when you can, when you land them, they can be really devastating. So it's an extremely powerful, solid strike. One thing to be mindful of because of that, we're striking with this part of our body. In this case, we're protecting our shoulder and our head and our face, and this is protecting our groin. You wouldn't strike with shoulder with your face into it because smash. So it's like you're bracing for a blow this way. So if I were over here with Bob, it's a little weird. It's this type of a maneuver. This gets in my way a little bit. If you had legs, I could get in closer and make it land a little better. But it's a wind-up strike here. And so I'm protecting here so that if he were trying to do something, I could feel that and protect. And I'm also not putting my face in it. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't do strike with face.
What?
Don't do strike
It's
with
not
face.
strike with face. Just like in snake creeps down, it's not face creeps down. Snake creeps down, and this is not strike with face. Yes, exactly. So, this one's going to be a lot of waist in it as well. It's maybe not, it's very easy to kind of go from lift hands and just do arms and step. You'll have more success and it'll make more sense and feel better. I'm here in lift hands, start from my waist. My waist is what brings these hands down. And then by this shift in the feet is what then gets me back forward. So there is a little bit of a waist movement there. The beginner, focus on the feet first, but then if you can, try to free up your waist to start that movement rather than a specific hand movement. So let's just try strike with shoulder a few times. So let's go from lift hands. Good. Okay, strike with shoulder. Turn the waist, lower the hands. Sink down, step in. Step out, heel toe, shift forward, strike with shoulder. Very good. Yep, you got it. Reset. Strike with shoulder. Lower the hands. Sink down, step in. Step out, heel toe, shift, strike. Hold here. Up a little bit more. Not quite so much. There you go. Not quite so much, but there you go. Good. So it's kind of a little more level into it rather than leaving it to you. Good. Good, good, good. Yes. Release. Question.
That's real tightrope.
This one is tight roping, yes, correct, because it's not double dragon's foot placement. So, good distinction. Yes, this would look really weird if I tried to do a double dragon's foot placement. I don't even know. Well, I would be striking the shoulder over here, and that feels weird. So this is much more of a linear strike, because as you know in Tai Chi, not every footwork is double dragons. So same when this one's not. So it's a straightforward.
Is there another one like that?
Is there another one like that? Well, for all the strike with shoulders. But also, again, remember this you're getting it. This is also, this flows through. So here, in beginner, we teach strike with shoulder as a thing, white crane spreads wings as a thing. Once you get into intermediate advanced, it really is, it's one. So this doesn't really stop. So, yes, there are some foot placement like that, less so in Yang than in Chen style. Definitely in Kung Fu, there's some tight ropey type foot placement. Mostly in Tai Chi, it's gonna be cat stance, playing guitar stance, and double dragons. But there are some exceptions, and if you think of this one as a transitional through, it'll make more sense. Good question. Yes, sir?
When you're stepping out with strike with the shoulder with the right foot, how far out are you going?
Good question, and that's gonna vary by person.
That's what I mean, but what am I feeling?
Yes, so what are you feeling? Well, I don't really have time to hit Bob, but, so, what I'm going for is I wanna feel rooted, I wanna feel solid. If I'm too far out here, I don't have any power in my arms. I feel strong in my leg, but there's nothing, like if I were trying to strike, there's nothing, I don't have anything. If I'm here, I'm top heavy, right? So it's about a walking step on average, enough that you have enough to get from back leg to front leg and not be like this.
Okay.
And you want to be kind of upright and not leaning. Does that make sense?
I'm
It's
feeling
really kind of a
my-
walking stance.
I'm feeling my heel lift a little bit as I strike the
Ah.
shoulder. Should I be a little further out, or is that okay?
You don't want your foot to lift. You might want to go an inch or two out. The other thing would be to sink. You might be leaning forward too
Okay.
much. If I lean forward, it's easy for this to come up. If I think root and shift,
Okay.
that heel really feels like it's rooting rather than lifting.
I'll try the sinking.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, thank you.
Yeah, good question. Yes, sir.
It looks like the waist and the rest of the body moves as a unit.
They should, yes. Yes. So, I know this is facing the wrong way for the form, but waist is what starts this. Everyone looked like they had a good sense of that. And then here, yes, I'm definitely not doing this or this. It's here, and then this shifts as a unit because that's where that power comes from. It's all being generated by shifting from that back leg with my whole torso into the front foot. Good observation.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Just the shifting when you do that,
Uh-huh.
you don't go beyond your toes.
Don't go beyond the toes. So that's another thing. If you are stepping and this is what's happening, step a little farther so that that knee stays mostly in line with your foot and your toes. I'm glad you said that. Anything else? Let's practice it 3 more times that way, and then we'll take it from the top, just to lock in some sequence. So, from lift hands, strike with shoulder, waist, single step, and shift. Excellent. One more. Strike with shoulder. And then just for fun, let's follow through for white crane spreads wings. So, my right hand is gonna rotate up, and I'm gonna shift more weight onto that front leg. So rotate up with the right arm, and then step up at an angle with the left. And your right hand will be up like you're blocking the sun, and your left hand will be down like you're patting a dog. Okay, release. Preview white crane spreads wings. Let's do it at least once from the top, maybe 2 times, depending on how we go. And let's go ahead and do callbacks so that we can get accustomed to the names. Step left.
Step left.
Commencement.
Commencement.
Ward off right.
Ward off right.
Ward off left.
Ward off left.
Ward off right. lift hands,
Lift hands.
strike with shoulder.
Strike with shoulder.
And reset.
And reset.
Good job, looks good. Take a couple deep breaths. Step left.
Step left.
Commencement.
Commencement.
Worn off right.
Forward off right.
Worn off left.
Forward off left.
Worn off right.
Forward off right.
Pull back.
Pull back. Back.
Press
Press.
Press
and push.
And push.
Single whip.
Single whip.
Lift hands.
Lift hands.
Strike with shoulder.
Strike with shoulder.
And then for fun, let's walk through wide crane spreads wings. So rotate this right hand up, step forward with the left at an angle. That's wide crane spreads wings. Yeah, very good. And we're gonna work on that one next class, so. All right. Any last questions, comments, observations, or anything before we bow out? Yes, ma'am.
Curiosity. Why do we, maybe I just answered myself. Instead of saying grasp the bird's tail, you say each step.
Well, it's beginner.
It's beginner.
It's
That's
beginner,
why I
yes.
said so.
Those moves are ward off, pull back, press, and push. Each one of
Right.
those moves has a succinct name and technique to it. Once you start doing the whole 108, that just gets to be a mouthful. So, it's too advanced a concept when someone's brand new learning to understand that, say, grasp the bird's tail means 4 different things.
Right.
Not to mention, grasp the bird's tail can look different ways.
Sure.
So, we make sure that students understand what ward off, what pull back, what press, and what push are, so that then when we get to calling it grasp the bird's tail, they can understand that there can be some deviations to those. So, good question. Yes, sir.
on pullback and press, do you put your hand here or is it up here?
Oh, it's usually supporting the wrist.
Well,
Okay.
yes, but how far
Oh,
around?
Good, so,
Because you're much closer to the front of us,
I'm here, because if I were here,
right? So you're,
I'd be pushing in a funny place, because I want my press to go straight ahead. So if I do my pull back, my hands come down and it sneakily connects here as I turn my center and then shift with my body weight. Does that make sense?
yeah, because I was going too far.
Don't you?
Yes, so, we can talk about it again in another class, but the pull back to press is an easy one to get the feet and the hands out of sync. And it also can be like you think you're doing it and you've already shifted, and then the hands just kind of come out instead of, I'm here. It can get kind of mushed. So, I'm glad you asked that, but yeah, yes ma'am.
Sorry,
Okay.
one more for a single whip when you're coming back around and I'm not entirely certain what to do with my hands while I'm getting into the.
Okay, so, again, as a beginner, feet is really, don't worry so much about the hands. But what happens is, they're here, they come to here, and then as you bring your feet in, these come in as well. So you're gonna form a circle with your right hand and on top of the beak. So then this hand kind of stays here, and as I step out, this hand lifts and goes that way, and I extend this hand. So the left hand does sort of a lifting arc, and this right hand goes from here to here.
Actually, doesn't it kind of stay in the same spot?
kinda does
You
if you walk-
shift away from it?
Correct, but 3 weeks of class.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank
But yes, you're exactly right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So what he was saying
Yeah,
is,
that is helpful.
it's totally true. Basically, you're here, and then as I turn, that naturally, and I kind of think, leave my hand here, that's where it goes. But yes, you're both right. All right, let's go ahead and bow out. We follow the 5 R's, that's okay. Faith, respect, perseverance, patience, and humility. Well, to advanced, intermediate, beginner level students at home, basic training is dismissed. Good job, everybody.